How odd! No answer. I wonder. Who's there? Who is it? I say, could you step out of the shadows? I can't see you properly in the gloom. Who is it? Charles, is that you?
Good evening, my dear Jacqueline. How fortunate to stumble upon you of all people. Alone.
Surely it can't be! My long-lost step-brother, Josiah! What's happened to you? Your clothes, your
They
hair!
left me behind, you know, in the company of those hideous savages for whom your father and I were supposed to be hunting.
The lost Mamulami tribes of the wilds of Borneo?
The very same. They fed me, looked after me, cared for me when I was ill. Out there in that God-forsaken jungle, I nearly died.
Please, keep away!
Why? And does my appearance displease you?
What on earth is that thing in your nose?
This? Why, it's just a bone. Would you like me to remove it? Don't be scared, my dear. It's only the polished femur of a dwarf cassowary. The natives think it has special properties, you know.
Really?
Special magical properties.
Oh, don't
Look
be-
at the way it glints in the moonlight.
If you think
You can feel your eyes growing heavy. Heavier and heavier. Your hand reaches out to clutch a tribal hunting knife, freshly sharpened. Now, grasp it by its handle. Turn it towards you. Feel your arm tightening as you prepare to plunge it into your ribcage.
No!
Do it!
Cease, you contemptible blackguard!
Charles? No, it can't be. You should be dead.
Don't you remember, Josiah? I never drink Lapsang Souchong unless it has first been warmed in hot.
Trust you to evade your own fate. That quinine wasn't cheap either.
Ha! How typical of you to always be thinking about money. So, how much is the delightful Jacqueline Ducat worth?
A fortune. Dead. And of course, her estate passes on to her only living relative, me. Perfect revenge for leaving me to die in that God-forsaken rainforest.
Now you know that wasn't her fault. Jacqueline, can you hear me?
It's no use, Charles. She is completely in my power.
What power? Black magic? You're delusional. You know that?
Jacqueline, face the knife.
You perfidious beast!
Die, Jacqueline, die!
Jacqueline!
It's all right, Charles. Little did my stepbrother know that I became trained pistol instructor in his absence. The first female instructor in Berkshire, as a matter of fact. Oh, my poor Josiah!
Don't cry, my darling. He was mad. Death has put him out of his misery. As the bard once said, death thou wicked avenger, whose peace is a cloud.
But he's dead!
Darling, I know he's dead.
No, Simon. He's really dead.
My God, you're right. Is there a doctor in the house?
Ladies and gentlemen, we present The Theatre of Doom, a style-chilling radio reality in two parts by that well-known author of stage and screen, Mark Campbell. Part 1.
Oh, Simon, I can't believe such a horrible thing has happened.
It's all right, Amelia. It wasn't your fault.
But it was my gun. I killed him.
You weren't to know that someone had switched the blanks for real bullets.
Graham, what's going to happen now?
Nothing. You are innocent. You have nothing to worry about.
But how could it have happened? Who would have done it?
I really don't. Oh, here's the doctor.
Good evening, sirs, madam. Tragic circumstances, what? I expect you'd like to know my opinion.
Isn't it obvious what happened?
Not necessarily, sir. Oh, by the way, splendid performances tonight. My wife thought you were especially good, Miss Guthridge.
That's very kind. Doctor?
Peters, madam. Of course, we never did get to find out how he murdered all those people, did we? I mean, how could he have garroted the maid when the scullery door was firmly locked from the inside?
Really, Dr. Peters?
Ah, so you're the doctor, are you? What's the verdict?
And you are?
Anthony Dixon Smith, stage manager.
I see. Well, judging from the wound, it would appear that the poor man was shot at point-blank range.
I mean!
Now,
We
darling.
all know that, but in God's name, how?
Not my purview, sir. I'm a simple medical man, not a detective.
Yes, well, speaking of which, I'm expecting a chap from the yard to arrive any time now.
But how could it have happened, Anthony? You would have wanted poor Algernon dead.
More to the point, who's going to replace him? We're due in Billericay tomorrow and we've no blasted understudy.
Oh, you beast!
You're not thinking of continuing the tour, surely?
Well, think of tomorrow's headlines. Murder at the Grange, for real. We'll have the great British public queuing up for seats. The bloodthirsty ghouls.
You're behaving as if this whole thing is one vast publicity stunt.
Believe me, I couldn't have arranged it better if I tried.
Excuse me, gents, madam. Detective Inspector Spode is here.
Not Spode of the yard.
The very same, sir.
Oh, I say, he should get to the bottom of things pretty damn quick.
Good evening, gentlemen. Now,
Good evening, Detective Inspector.
call me Spode, everyone else does.
I'm Simon de Montefiore.
And I'm his half-brother, Graham Devine. I'm glad you're here. Perhaps we can get things tidied up now.
Tidied up, sir. This is a crime scene, not a picnic.
I'm a big fan of yours, Inspector.
Oh?
Oh, yes. That business with the Abyssinian ferret and the one-legged toastmaster.
Ah, yes. Well, I shouldn't believe everything you read in the papers. Now, perhaps you should repair to somewhere quieter. There is rather too much hullabaloo here for my liking.
Well, I suppose there's always the dressing rooms. This way. Just through here.
Ah, thank you. Well, not much room here, is there?
Oh, this is positively palatial. You should have seen our last place. Oh,
Yes, I won't be returning to Crayford in a hurry.
Tell you what, I'll wait out here until you need me.
Thank you, Mr. Devine. Thank heavens for that. Now, what can you tell me about the victim, Algernon Black?
Well, had been, touring with us for 5 months now. No family that I know of. Kept himself to himself. Quiet chap. Born in South Africa, I believe, but pleasant enough.
Miss Guthridge, I believe it was you who delivered the fatal shot.
Inspector, I have no idea the gun was loaded.
Of course not. Now, who gave you the gun?
Our props boy, Billy Blenkinsop.
oh, I assure you, he's above suspicion.
No one is above suspicion, Mr. Montefiore. Mr. Smith, could you get it for me?
Dixon Smith. Yes, I should think so.
Fancy a drink, Inspector Spode?
I'm on duty, sir.
Oh, good. All the more for me. Amelia?
Not at a time like this, Simon.
Even more for me. Bottoms up, eh?
Now, did Mr. Black have any enemies?
Algernon? Only the usual ones.
Oh,
Critics.
I see.
God knows how it could have happened.
Miss Guthridge, perhaps you could cast your mind back to the day's events and tell me of anything unusual, anything at all that occurred prior to tonight's performance.
Well, there was. No, that can't have had anything to do with it.
In a case of murder, nothing is unimportant, only unexplained.
It's only that, well, when we arrived at the theatre tonight,
We?
Simon and I, we're sharing digs, you see.
Ah, yes.
For convenience, Inspector.
I understand. Please, go on.
Yes, well, when we arrived, there was this parcel at the stage manager's box.
I appear to have been up in a great hurry.
You saw it too?
Oh, yes, and there was something else.
Oh?
It's a very curious smell.
Like rotting cabbages. Oh, disgusting.
How very curious.
Here's a laddie for you, Inspector.
Ah, Billy, isn't it?
That's right, sir. Billy Blenkinsop.
And your job, Billy?
I'm chief props boy. I have to make sure all the actors have got their bits and pieces before we goes up, like.
And that includes the weaponry.
Oh, it's only a fake gun, sir. Well, fake bullets anyway. Blanks. But we keeps it locked up.
And who has access to this gun, Billy?
Well, I asked keys, sir. But it wasn't me. I didn't have nothing to do with it, promise.
Quiet, Billy.
It's not just Billy who has keys. You do too, Anthony.
Is that right?
I have lots of keys, Miss Guthridge.
Including to my dressing room.
What?
That was an accident. How did I know you'd be in the shower?
You swine! Why didn't you tell me, Amy?
It hardly seemed worth it. For such a little thing.
So, Mr. Dixon Smith, you had access to this gun too?
Well, yes, but I mean, look at Billy's history.
Anthony, no.
History?
He's got a string of petty thefts to his name. I only took him on out of a sense of civic duty.
I ain't nicked anything for ages, Mr. Dixon Smith. You can't be casting aspersions like that.
It's true. He's a reformed character.
And yet he was in charge of the gun, Amelia. He could have switched the bullets whenever he wanted.
But what motive would the poor boy have?
Billy, did you have anything against Mr. Black?
No, Algy was good to me. If I was a bit brassy, he'd be sure to give me some dosh.
Did you expect anything in return?
Like what?
Oh, anything?
Well, I sometimes had to put a bet on for him when he was doing Saturday matinees. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean. What did he bet on?
Well, everything. Horses, dogs, cards, even snooker, and we all know that's fixed.
I see. I wonder where he obtained his money from.
Not me, that's for sure. Times are hard, and I have to pay my actors' salaries commensurate to their talents.
Meaning?
Peanuts.
And now, Billy, when you opened the box containing the gun this evening, did you notice anything unusual?
Huh?
Was there perhaps something different about the way it looked?
Oh, no, sir, it was the same gun.
And the bullets were in the box too?
Yeah, the blanks. I put them in, same as always. One in each chamber, just in case one don't go off.
We're nothing if not professional, Inspector.
I wonder whether the late Mr. Black would appreciate the sentiment.
But now you've come to mention it, there was something funny about the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there was this weird smell like, well, I don't know.
Cabbages?
Cabbages?
Cool, struck a light. How did you know that?
Nothing more than a wild guess.
Anthony, that parcel you received today.
The one in your office.
What of it?
What exactly did it contain, Mr. Dixon Smith?
Nothing at all.
Such a large packet for nothing, Anthony.
Just some prints, that's all.
Print.
Yes, you know, prints. Artistic prints.
I'm very much afraid you will have to show me.
Oh, very well. Here.
Yes, I see. Very, artistic indeed. And faintly aromatic of some species of vegetable matter.
I can explain that.
Indeed.
Yes. They came from the greengrocer.
The greengrocer.
Oh, any chance of a look-see?
Sorry, Blenkinsop. These are now official police property. Doubtless the lads down at the station will examine these most thoroughly.
You're making a mistake. They weren't mine.
I'm sorry.
I was just the middleman.
Oh, Anthony, don't be.
For you, Simon.
What?
Don't listen to
Oh,
him.
yes, Amy. Your innocent young admirer is not so innocent after all.
How could you look at such awful things, Simon?
But he's lying.
I knew I should have listened to my mother. She told me never to trust actors.
Amelia, wait.
Oh, men. Goodbye, Simon.
Oh, God.
Yes, well, thank you, Willie. You've been most helpful.
Oh, that's all right, Squire. Any time.
So, if it wasn't Billy, and I don't believe it was, then just who was it? There's a link between the gun and the parcel. Both smell of cabbages. Whoever handled the gun, or the parcel, also handled the gun. That much is clear.
Are you accusing me, Inspector?
You have certainly been guilty of moral turpitude. What more could you be guilty of, I wonder?
I'm no killer.
Now, womanizer, philanderer and card cheat. But no, definitely not a killer.
What was that?
Detective Inspector, come quick!
Well, what is it? What's happened?
It's the boy, sir. He couldn't have seen it.
Seen what, man?
The orchestra pit. Someone's removed the cover.
What? Do you see who did it?
What's happened now?
Oh God, look down there. He's fallen right in the euphonium.
Tune in again, same time, same place, to hear the thrilling conclusion to The Theatre of Doom. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the thrilling conclusion to our specially written gunnet, The Theatre of Doom.
Hobbs, call an ambulance.
Righto, sir.
Amelia, are you all right?
Where's that doctor, chappie?
Mr. Dixon Smith, down the fellow, where is he?
He was just by the door there. Anthony!
Oh, never mind him. We must examine the body. Come on. Poor chap. Neck broken on impact. What a chance.
Here you are, darling. Better now?
Oh, Simon, what's happened?
Oh, it's simply too dreadful.
Ambulance will be here in 5 minutes, sir.
Hobbs, come down here at once. See that?
Looks like a note, sir.
Yes, let's see if I can price it off. Ah, got it.
Ooh, wonder how it got caught round that. What's it say, sir?
Let's see. To whom it may concern, keep your stinking nose out of other people's affairs or else. No signature.
Ooh, that doesn't sound very pleasant, sir.
No, it doesn't, does it? Come on, give me a hand, Mr. Montefiore.
Did you find something?
Yes, a letter.
What does it say?
Oh, the usual thing. Veiled threats are 2 a penny in my line of work. But what's really interesting is...
Good God!
Down, everyone!
Amelia!
Oh, I'm all right. It missed me.
It came from up there, in the gods.
Divine, what's the quickest way up there?
Up these stairs.
Hobbs, you put a guard on every exit. Make sure he doesn't get away.
Righto.
Mr. de Montefiore, follow me.
Oh, must I?
Off you go. I'll be fine.
I'll look after her.
Oh, if you insist.
Come on, man. There's no time to lose.
Doing the best I can. Not much running in. Murder at the Grange, you know.
So, Amy, all alone.
I'm sorry.
Your fancy man has gone and left you. Don't you feel sad?
Graham, I don't know.
We
what
all have feelings, you know.
feelings.
Simon is my half-brother. Even in half-brothers, feelings run deep.
What he's saying.
Envy, my dear, that is the feeling to which I refer.
Envy?
I wish you would stop repeating everything I say.
But I don't understand.
I've always hated Simon for his success with l'amour. Such a fop.
You were jealous.
Envious. Only a cretin would mix up the 2 words. Are you a cretin? You can always tell a cretin by the eyes.
Keep away.
Or would you prefer I use this?
Where did you get that?
From our dear departed Billy, of course.
The prop gun?
The prop gun with real bullets.
Then it was you who swapped them over.
Any fool can copy a key. When the boy was out on one of Algernon's little betting excursions, I broke in and changed the cartridges.
Then...
Yes, it was I who killed Algernon. And you, my dear, will be next.
This is Detective Inspector Spurgeon. Surrender now and you will avoid the hangman's noose.
Can you see anything?
Too dark. Wait, what's that?
Oh!
It's all right, man, it's only an owl. Whoever you are, come out with your hands up.
Over there, by the balcony.
Show yourself, man.
I wanted her all to myself, you know.
Anthony?
She wouldn't have me. Said I was too common for her.
Now look, Dixon Smith.
Don't come any closer or I'll set this off.
Set what off?
Don't you recognise it, Simon?
A firecracker.
It's my responsibility to set it off every night during the supposedly terrifying climax of murder at the Grange. Alas, Inspector, a treat denied you on this occasion.
Murder is no respecter of theatrical convention.
You see, there was no assassin concealed up in here in the gods. Just 2 firecrackers, time to explode with 5-minute fuses.
But Amelia said the bullets just missed her.
And the dear sweet lady is lying.
2 firecrackers, but there was only 1 shot.
Correct.
second failed to go off. Here it is in my hand. And if I happen to light the fuse, well, you all know how lethal these can be in a confined space like this.
Anthony, no!
So if you killed Algernon, did you kill poor Billy too?
No, and I don't care who did. Stop fidgeting and let me get a clean shot at you.
Would you like to know who?
Not really. Now just stay exactly where you are and...
I did.
You did?
It was I who pushed him into the orchestra pit. Poor boy, so easily led. And it was I that set off that firecracker in the gods to distract the inspector and his men.
Distract them?
Please stop repeating everything I say.
But why?
I wanted Algernon and his money. I thought I could get it too, but he wasn't interested in someone like me, a girl. It would appear they have different tastes in South Africa.
Then you're a murderer too?
Yes, and soon to be double murderer. Now, stay still while I release the safety catch.
You're forgetting. I am currently pointing a loaded weapon between your eyes.
Alas, your weapon is, quite literally, firing blanks.
What?
I swapped the bullets back as soon as I killed Billy. I knew you would take the gun. You see?
In that case, I shall strangle you with my bare hands.
What? No! Ah!
Ah! Are you two all right down there?
Amelia! What on earth was that noise? Great heavens!
It's all right, Hobbs. You can stop guarding the exits now. We have found our murderer. Or rather, murderers.
Oh, Amelia.
I'm afraid there's no hope for her, Mr. Montefiore, or for Divine. A body falling from this height would be fatal.
Did he fall or was he pushed? It was so dark.
I believe he lost his balance lighting that blessed firecracker.
Faced by his own petard, as the bard might say. And Amelia?
Responsible for the death of Billy Blenkinsop, and no doubt the future demise of Algernon Black if Divine hadn't interfered.
Sir, just like my mother warned me.
I'm sorry.
Never trust them.
Who, sir? Actresses?
No, sir. Women.
By Geraldine Mullins, Simon de Montefiore by Ian Long, Detective Inspector Spurn by Mark Campbell, Billy Blenkinsop by Leslie Hanford, Algernon Black, Dr. Peters and V.C. Hobbs by David Hampton, and Graham Devine and Anthony Dixon Smith by me, Michael Martin. The play was directed by Wendy Marsh.